Hello and welcome. At the end of this video, you will learn how to keep your plagiarism low. And to do this, you have to be able to do three things. You have to be able to identify the different types of plagiarism that we have. You have to know how to avoid them by sticking to the best practice when you are writing. And you also have to know how to fix plagiarism in your writing when you already have them. So this video is part of a course which is training you on how to write your thesis, your final year project, or your dissertation. So my name is Babajide Karim and I'll be your instructor for this course. First of all, we have direct plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is a form of plagiarism where you copy something from a source without editing or any form of change. You just copy just the way it is and then you put it in your work. Whether you reference it or not, it is still direct plagiarism. Then we have what we call self-plagiarism. Let's say you publish an article, you can't just take any part of the article just as you wish and say, okay, since you are the one who wrote it earlier, you can just copy and paste. You can't do that. So that is also plagiarism, which is called self-plagiarism. You have paraphrasing without credit. This is common among students where you see a journal or article or information on a website and then you take that information, you paraphrase it into your own words and you don't give credit to the original author of the article or journal. So this is also plagiarism. We have mosaic plagiarism. This form of plagiarism is when a student or a writer, you see a journal or a source, maybe a textbook or something. You take some information from that textbook and you maintain the structure of that maybe paragraph or the whole article. So you now just keep checking for synonyms and you change some things just to keep the similarity index low, but you still maintain the structure. The structure is not original, it's not yours. This is also plagiarism. We have misattribution. For example, let's say I'm reading two articles. Two articles are probably closely related and this is saying something and this is saying something else. And then I am citing what Mr. A is saying in Mr. B's work. And I'm citing what Mr. B is saying in Mr. A's work. That is misattribution and it is also a form of plagiarism. And we have accidental plagiarism. Any form of this plagiarism, if you do it unintentionally, it is accidental plagiarism. But whether accidental or deliberate, plagiarism is a crime in academic setting, in the research world, as well as many other spheres of life. And it is something that you should avoid. But then, how do you avoid plagiarism? To avoid plagiarism, you have to understand what plagiarism is, which is what we have explained earlier. Because if you don't understand what something is, you don't know how to avoid it. Secondly, you have to study widely on the subject you are to write about. If you are to write about blockchain, a particular topic about blockchain, you should go online, read, watch YouTube videos, just learn. This is not the time where you read journal or something. You can read journal, but this is the time where you just want to learn and take in as many information as you can so that you can be able to have a shape, a structure for what you want to write, and you have an understanding of what you want to write before you even start writing. Then at this point you can now move to reading journals and documenting journals, because most of the information that you want to use in an academic writing, you cannot just be putting bulk of YouTube videos and some blog sites. You have to ensure that you are citing things like journals, maybe a little bit of textbook, so that many of these things have been verified by people that are regarded as highly knowledgeable in that field. So that way you are sure that the information you are giving out is not someone's thought. It is probably a fact, a theory, something that is said by someone who have authority in that field. So you have to read these journals and document them. At this point, then you now start writing. And when you are writing, don't copy paste. If you copy and paste, there is no way you are not going to have plagiarism in your work, even if you decide to edit them. So to avoid plagiarism, one of the best way is to ensure that you read, you understand, and then you are writing in your own words. Then after writing in your own words, then you have to cite your facts, because similarity is a form of plagiarism. But even when you write in your own words, those information are gotten from somewhere. So therefore, you have to cite those facts, those journals or those sources. So it can be textbook, it can be a website. So you have to cite them. And you have to run a plagiarism check, because you cannot know whether what you have written, even though you write it offhand, probably it is just similar to what someone else has written in the past. And you have to do some things to fix it if peradventure you find out that your plagiarism, your similarity index, when you run your plagiarism check, is high. These are some examples of plagiarism results. So this particular article has 0% similarity index. So that means after checking internet sources, after checking publication and student papers, you cannot really find a article that is that close to this particular article that has this report. And then this is another one that has 1%. This is still fine. A lot of students don't actually make it to the point of having 0% similarity index, but 1%, 2%, these are still very okay. Then we have example for high plagiarism index like 20%, and then you are going to have a list of all those sources. You have 11% internet source, 14% publication, 3% student paper. So this is a high plagiarism writing, and if you have something like this, you have to fix it. Now, when you have something like this, that is the result, but the paper itself, the writing itself is going to be highlighted. So when you have a particular paper and you run a plagiarism check for it, the part that is being plagiarized, or let me say the part that is similar to a particular source in the online, the publications, the online texts, the student papers. So the part that is similar to that existing information, existing paper, will be highlighted. So those parts can be paraphrased, or let me say those parts can be fixed so that you can keep the plagiarism low. So this is one example. You can see that it has different highlights all over it, and this is another one. You can see it has different highlights. It's the same paper, but this is different sections of the paper. Those are just screenshots. Now, how do you fix? After running your plagiarism test, you have the outcome, and the parts that are similar to existing literature are highlighted in the outcome of your plagiarism test. So what do? You will write these parts in your own word, and if your plagiarism is based on missing references, you have to cite all the references, all the facts that you stated, you have to cite their sources. Then you might have issue fixing all of your plagiarism. You might need help, and it won't be bad to talk to your tutor or your supervisor or a writing consultant to help you review your work. And then you should read the work again from the top to bottom to ensure that there is no citation missing. Then after doing all of this, you can run your plagiarism test again to check if there is still more things to be fixed in your work. If you enjoyed this video and find the information helpful, kindly give it a thumbs up and ensure to comment if you have any questions and share to anyone who you feel is in need of this. Thank you for watching. See you next time.